In today's video, we're going to go over everything you need to know before hiking the Kanarra Falls Slot Canyon in southern Utah. All right, let's get to it. If this is your first time to this channel, we talk about everything there is to know about living in Cedar City, Utah and the surrounding areas. My name is Elizabeth Prisbrey. I'm with Stratum Real Estate Group. If you are looking to buy, sell, or invest here in southern Utah, I would love it if you would reach out. You can find my information up here in the corner or down below in the description. All right, let's talk about everything there is to know about the Kanarra Falls Hike. This is a water hike in southern Utah. It actually goes through a slot canyon and it is absolutely beautiful. It is located about 20 minutes south of Cedar City, Utah. You're just going to take the I-15 down to Kanarraville. That's about a 20-minute drive. Or if you are staying down in the St. George area, you're going to take the I-15 north, and that's going to be about a 40-minute drive. I know it looks a little bit longer than that on the map here, but it really isn't. It's 20 minutes south from Cedar City or 40 minutes north from St. George. Now, the Kanarra Falls Hike is located in Kanarraville, Utah, and it really isn't too far from the I-15. This is really one of southern Utah's most beautiful hikes, in my opinion. I would come here to hike this even when I lived in Las Vegas, and I have gone down since moving to Cedar City. It's about a 4-mile round trip hike, and it will take about 3 to 4 hours depending on your abilities. It is a hike that I recommend everyone check out if they are coming to southern Utah. However, before you run to this hike, you're definitely going to want to watch this video because there's a few things you should know. The first thing is a permit is required to go on this hike. A lot of people found out how amazing it was. They started getting too large of crowds, and so they started limiting this. There are only 150 permits allowed per day. It actually makes it quite nice. I went recently in July and there were no crowds. You were able to actually enjoy the scenery, the quietness of the rushing water. It really was just a great experience. So I love the fact that they do regulate this, but it can be a little stressful when you are trying to reserve a ticket. You do want to make sure that if you are planning a trip up here, you reserve quite a ways out. I will put the link for the website down below in the description so that you can go on and reserve a ticket here. I would recommend doing this. You don't want to wait and show up that day to purchase the ticket because chances are they'll all be sold out. If there are some available, they'll absolutely sell them to you, but there's a good chance they'll be sold out. Now, with that being said, tickets are $12 per person currently in 2023. You will need a government ID to pick up your ticket when you get there, and they are non-transferable and non-refundable. So you cannot purchase the tickets ahead of time and send somebody else there to pick them up. You actually need to show up with your ID to access your tickets. You can't sell them off to somebody else should you need to cancel your trip. Also, they're non-refundable. So let's say a flash flood comes through that day and they close down the hike. Unfortunately, you're out of luck. And I know that's awful, but for safety precautions, you don't want to get stuck in there when a flash flood comes through because it is a slot canyon and it is a water hike. So it's just better to be safe. Now, as far as hours here for this slot canyon, it is pretty much open from dawn to dusk in spring, summer, and fall. During the summer months, they will have the booth open from about 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., but the hours are limited in the other months because it is a little bit chillier. They will typically have this staffed from March through November. Now, although this is open pretty much year-round, it's important to note that since this is a water hike, in those cooler months, the water temperature is right around 30 degrees on average, and during those summer temps, the water temperature is around 50 degrees on average. And of course, we know that is snowmelt, it is runoff, it's a river. It is a lot chillier than, say, a pool that you would be jumping into to swim. So that's something to take into consideration when you come to do this hike. You want to dress appropriately. I've only done this in the summer months. The water's typically been above my knees. In some places, it has come up waist high. Most of the hike, though, I'm working up a sweat. So I'm in shorts, tank top. I do have some hiking shoes on. When I hit the water initially, it is pretty cold on my feet, but I'm working pretty hard through this hike. And so my body tends to acclimate to it to the point that I don't even notice the cold of the water by the time I've walked through it a few times. However, If you step out of it for a while and you're walking again, you will feel that initial sting when you touch the cool water. So just be aware of that temperature in the water. Of course, if you're going in the colder months, I have not done that. I probably would wear a wetsuit. I honestly probably wouldn't go during the colder months, but a lot of people do and they love it. So definitely check it out if that's your thing. I would also recommend using a walking stick. This is something I never remember. I have been able to find a tall stick or branch that's been there, but next time I go, I will be bringing my own because it's been really beneficial. When you are walking through the water, there are places that are deeper than others. A walking stick can help you assess the depth of the water so that you don't all of a sudden fall down a little bit deeper than you planned and hurt something. And it is possible to get hurt through here if you are not careful. The first time I went through, there was a young man with a group that rolled his ankle and he could not get back out. They actually had to call in people to come up and rescue him. Now, one thing I wanted to note on this hike is there are 2 waterfalls in it where you actually have to walk up this. Now, the one time that I did see that young man, it was a little bit different bridge. It was a tree log going up this waterfall with a few pegs you could step on. Now they have it a little bit more like a ladder. It's still a little sketchy. You still want to be careful because there is water running on this all the time from the waterfall. I have to be honest, I kind of liked the tree log. I felt like I was really roughing it. Now it's up to you if you want to bring young children. It is a pretty strenuous hike. Children under 3 are free. I have seen families come through there with smaller children. They're moving at a little bit slower pace and you want to be aware of their capabilities. But definitely assess your child and if you feel like that is something you can do as a family. I do want to note though, no pets are allowed. So don't think you can show up with your dog. You can't. I'm sorry. No pets are allowed. And the water that runs through here is actually a water source for the town of Kanarra. So they do ask that everybody keeps it clean. Anything you pack in, pack out with you. Make sure that you are using the facilities before you go. Right where you park at the start of the hike, there's a great pavilion with some picnic tables you can eat at. There's some bathrooms you can use. There is a little outhouse right before you head down the trail to get into the Slot Canyon, just in case you need to go one more time. But if you can do everything you can to keep it clean in here, then it's better for the rest of us. Now, right near the parking area, you will see the trailhead. You'll walk right through there and you will see the booth where you will pick up your tickets and gain access to the hike. Now, the last thing I want to note here is you are hiking at your own risk. Make sure you are checking the weather that morning and make sure you know the capabilities of those in your group that are hiking. With that being said, it really is such a beautiful hike. When my family goes, we put camelbacks on so that we have our water source. We'll usually pack some Crustables in our bag or some protein bars, and then we just go and we enjoy it. And when we get to the top, we eat our little snack, we put the trash back in our bag, and we hike back out. It really is so beautiful and such a great experience. And living in Cedar City, with it being so close, we can go down and back in a morning and feel like we've had this amazing adventure. You would never even know that this beauty is so close. All right, once again, I will link that website down below in the description so that you can go in and plan your trip. There is other information that you can find on there. If you have any other questions for me, please go ahead and leave them and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Once again, my name is Elizabeth Prisbrey. I'm with Stratum Real Estate Group. If you are looking to buy, sell, or invest here in Southern Utah, I would love it if you would reach out. I promise you I will respond. All right, until next time, have a wonderful day.